Welcome back, YouTube. This is Gary with Become the Music, continuing my dive into Paranoid by Black Sabbath, the almighty second record from the super influential metal band. And I'm going to do the song Hand of Doom. Next to War Pigs, this could be my favorite song on this album, but it's hard to pick. So this is another live version, live in Paris 1970, the same concert that we did War Pigs on the other video. And man, this song is so great. I just love this tune so much. Killer riffs, killer lyrics, of course. Let's get right to it. Hand of Doom, live in Paris, Black Sabbath.
Let's go now, little of our new people. It's normally titled Hand of Doom.
Handheld camera. Bill Ward taking a drink of a beer. Tony tuning up. I mentioned in the War Pigs video, geezer playing over the fretboard. This is good footage for the time. So again, like I mentioned in the War Pigs video, Ozzy's not the best with lyrics live. Reality won't wait. I just love the dynamics in this song. He's just making words up to follow the melody. He has no idea what he's singing. Interesting thing about Tony's guitar sound is people nowadays think that he's using all this distortion, and actually on a lot of old music like this, like Led Zeppelin and whatever. It's actually fairly clean guitar. There's not a lot of like really high gain. They didn't have high gain amplifiers back then or whatever, right? He technically, gear-wise, he used Laney supergroup amplifiers with a treble booster, I think probably a Dallas rangefinder, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but he's got distortion going on for sure, but it's not like huge sustainy distortion like you hear a lot of lead players playing or metal bands playing these days, right? And the other thing is that he's using single coil pickups, P90 pickups, which are lower output than humbuckers that most people use now for heavy music. Just imagine that kid would grow up to have a reality TV show. What a great change. And this riff right here, what a groove. Bill Ward with the big swing on the hi-hat there. Go out, enjoy yourself. Don't go within. They're very simple players. Geezer and Tony together specifically, their stuff is not hard to play, really. But it's the chemistry they have together. It's the vibe that they create together, right? Because I mean the band sounds really full and really tight and everything, but this stuff is it's quite simplistic. It's just the way that they meld it together. Geezer has this way of really filling out the sound behind Tony's guitar, especially when Tony's soloing. It's hard to make a band sound full when you only have two melodic instruments, guitar and bass, right? Of course, Bill Ward's quite busy on the drums, which, fills things out as well. Interesting thing, Bill Ward has a very cool solo career. He hasn't played with Black Sabbath for a lot of years, unfortunately, but he's got, I think, 4 solo albums, which are very worth checking out. It's very dark, interesting, heavy music. It's very interesting. His first record, Ward 1 Along the Way, actually has Ozzy on a couple of tracks, and he had a single called Bombers Can Open Bomb Bays, which is on YouTube. You can check that out. So yeah, if you're interested in Bill Ward, check out his solo stuff. He's also a really cool artist. He does some very interesting digital artwork. He keeps really busy, and he's a very, very sharp guy. They're all very, very smart guys. Bill Ward is people don't really know because he's kind of hidden back there. He's not in the band anymore, all that kind of stuff. But dive into Bill Ward because he's a really cool dude. Yeah, neat stuff. And of course, his drumming is just like so great. He's one of my favorites. Let's get back to it. There's a lot of tasty stuff in Sabbath's music, a lot of different influences. Great fill by Bill Ward there. Drummers will know that that's very along the lines of John Bonham, those triplets, right? Coming up. Yeah. Nice little cymbal catch there. Again, he's making up lyrics. I think that looked like a Marshall on Tony's stack, a Marshall head. Ooh, oh, really? Rat Salad, hey, bonus. Billboard solo. Listen to that fill. Let's go back and listen to that snare fill by Bill Ward. Listen how fast this is. I always love this guitar solo. Very jazzy. So, just going to stop here. Any Sabbath fan will know this, but for those that don't, you see those two things on Tony. Well, it's actually this hand because he's left-handed. Those two caps on the end of his fingers. He cut the tips of his fingers off in an industrial sheet metal accident when he was working in a factory. It was his last day on the job, and he was quitting to, go full time in music, and he got his fingers caught in a sheet metal machine or something like that, and lopped the end of his fingers off. And he thought, my guitar career is over, and he was devastated. But he devised something. Well, first of all, someone gave him a record of Django Reinhardt, the gypsy jazz guitarist who only played with two fingers, and said, listen, this is what you can do with only two fingers, right? But Tony devised a way. He got plastic bottles from dish soap and cut them all out and modified them and glued leather tips. You can see there's a black tip on the end. So there's a sort of a brown plastic thing and then a black tip on the end. That's a piece of leather. So Tony glued leather pads onto these plastic bottles that he made, these plastic finger caps, and stuck them on his fingers. And that's how he's able to play. And to this day, that's what he does. I mean, he probably has better little prosthesis there, but that's what he does. He has to cover his fingertips with some type of cap when he's playing. And he's done pretty darn well, may I say. Let's go back. I love this solo. Pretty much note for note to the album. Just so good. Just so good. So no solo there. That is traditionally Bill Ward's cue to take a drum solo is Rat Salad. That's how it is on the album. Live, they would do that so he could fill out time when they had to play long sets. He would do like a half-hour drum solo or whatever, right? Something else about Tony's guitar style or his sound is because of his fingertips, he needed to find a way to have lighter strings. But at that time, they didn't make extra light guitar strings. So he actually got, I think it was it banjo strings? Because they're lighter. And so he moved all of his guitar strings. He, took off the bottom one or two, moved the lighter strings up to be his lower strings and put a thinner string on the top so that he could do bends and make chords comfortably because of the injury to his fingertips. Yeah, so he was kind of an innovator in that regard, and he also got somebody. The guitar he's using there is a Gibson, Gibson SG, but he got someone to custom make him the same style of guitar, but with higher output pickups and 24 frets, which didn't exist at the time. So Tony Iommi, as well as being musically visionary and having a huge, immeasurable impact on the rock and metal scenes, also had a lot of influence in the way that guitar players, like guitar equipment, actually, like guitar equipment. So, hats off, kudos to the man. We wouldn't be where we are without Tony Iommi. I used to have a t-shirt back in the day that said, Black Sabbath ruined my life. And, of course, that's an ironic statement because Black Sabbath sent me on my path of heavy music in a lot of ways. So just kind of a joke shirt that I had. But yeah, this band has meant so much to me for so long. That was amazing. I've seen this, numerous times, but it's always so cool to watch these guys at work, especially back in the day when they were that young. They would have been, early 20s here, 22, 21, something like that. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but killer stuff from the masters. So that's that video. Thank you so much for your time, and let's jump into Fairies Wear Boots. I will hopefully see you in a minute.